Okay. Full body stretch out. We're going to start with a couple of our breathing exercises. So get onto your space, look down, a little bit of pigeon toe, right? Big toes touching, a space through the heels. Point the fingertips down, interlace fingers, knuckles under the jaw. So start by elevating the elbows just to see how things feel. In the event you can't drive the elbows all the way up, just don't even worry about lifting the elbows then. Just gently rock the head, right? So the objective is to inhale, pull the elbows up, stand with a really strong connected quads, glutes, abs. Gently the head floats back, the arms close into each other with your exhale. As you release it, inhale up, pull the navel in, squeeze the buns. Try to squeeze the buns without pushing the hips forward, right? That's a pretty crucial element to this. Inhale up. If you're finding that your timing is slightly off from mine, from the amount of time that you can actually, hold your breath for a moment when you get this position, right? Or as you're inhaling, with the elbows lifting, you're in inhale mode, right? So as you pull it all up and in, you pause, holding your breath, and then you float back. Put your checklist in, tight, strong legs, elbows closing in. You're doing just a slow exhalation. Inhale up. You got about 2 more. Garbage is running. That's why I put my mic on. When I ran my test class yesterday, and I played it back, I could hear all the little birdies chirping, right? But the bird chirps were really loud in the recording. And so I thought, okay, I need to get my headset on. Do one more. Pull it up. Feel the body stretch. Push your heels into the ground. Tighten the buns. Slow drawing in of those elbows. Exhale. And as you come out of it, gently release the arms. Whew. Something we haven't done for a while is just our little like windmill, soft side to side. Allow your knees to be soft. I know I've got some shading of my body with the sun patches hitting me. Nothing I can do about this. So my mom has this beautiful pool, like it's really scenic, picturesque, except I couldn't position the setup of the camera to get any of that and me to have a workout space. So we've got this blank canvas back here, and and that is not what the rest of the patio looks like, right? So as you come around, you're trying to like have your hips draw down because that helps you swivel and balance, right? And let those arms come around you as far as you can without forcing it. And your momentum is helping you drive those arms around, right? So are you able to just take from the navel area and keep this internal draw in that is not associated with you inhaling and exhaling, right? That is one of the hardest things that I find people really struggle with, is that they don't know how to internally abdominal brace without it being part of their inhale and exhales, right? So give me 4 more. You're just pulling in like you're cinched in wearing a corset. 3, 2, release and relax. And now we're going to get into this tap, right? So think about bringing the foot over because we're getting ready to explore our SI joint, or excuse me, IT band. Pull back, drive the leg forward, pull back. If your brain says yeah, I'm getting ready to add my arm up, right? You add the high arm to the trailing leg, right? So push, pull back, maybe hand goes to shoulder and you're only able to sweep the elbow up, right? If you can go full arm stretch, allow the body to go into this like crescent shape. Okay, inhale down, exhale over. We can continue to drive the stretch a little bit more if you brace and push the hand into the hip. And as we complicate the stretch, the tempo needs to actually slow down, right? So pull it back, inhale, push into it. The body wants to push forward, and that's okay so long as you're going to stay here now. So long as you remember, pull back, right? You're bracing. This is the one we're going to hold. Settle in, take this hip, sweep it around. Take your gaze, sweep it around, start looking down at the trailing foot. Remember that abdominal bracing? Pull your navel in, which may make you feel yourself draw back, right? Bring the arm down. What if you got some pinching coming up into that inside of that groin? That would not be uncommon. That would just mean that you've taken your leg and you've stepped it probably too far to the side for what your flexibility is, right? So you back out of that stretch. Hand braces, push the hip, right? Shoulders out of the ears. Take the stretching side, sweep it around. Let your gaze go with it. Can you look down at your trailing foot? Pull your belly in so your body draws back a little bit. Release and relax. Whew. Do you have a ball? Pickleball, golf ball, tennis ball, lacrosse ball. Maybe you don't have a ball. If you don't have a ball, what I want you to do, okay, is I want you to take your foot and I want you to push down on the top of the foot. And then I want you to slide it forward and pull it up. So without the ball, you're going to press, glide, pull, right? With the ball, we're just going to treat the bottom of the foot. You're only going to be doing this for, I don't know, 45 seconds each foot. Get in there, dig it. If just standing on the one leg seems too hard, put yourself next to a wall, right? Roll in. Oh yeah. I have loaned out so many of my golf balls that I thought I had one in my bag, but I didn't. And I swear this pickleball still manages to get in there under that arch and find a nice little tender spot. Right? So I've got my legs bent, right? How do we help with our stability? And there are times when your body, when you need to engage this really stiff line. But for me right now, like I feel like I have more control if my leg is bent, both legs are bent, right? And I'm digging, switch legs. Oof. Yeah, so sleep patterns off, right? Everything, everything about consistency has absolutely been derailed for for the last 6 days. So this actually feels good, and not in a bad way. You know, we're eating clean and all of that good stuff, but not restful sleep. And I woke up this morning, got about 10 more seconds, and my eyes just felt like I could barely pry them open. Not, and I wasn't, it's not from tired, just my eyes are tired, but my body's not tired. Release and relax. All right. So this is what I think is funny. The pool deck, as you might not be able to see it in the picture, but it's actually not level. And I'm trying to figure out how to like maintain balance for myself, just knowing that. Getting your little chair. Ah, okay. Here we go. So I'm going to use my mat. I want to I want to use my mat for the glide factor, right? So think shins, tops of feet, hamstrings, perched. I'm not used to having arms on my chair, right? Push, pull. I want today's session to feel super gentle. We're not trying to break any records today. We're just activating our parts. As you push out, pull yourself up, broadcast forward, pull back, glide back, press the tops of the foot down, right? Gliding, 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 get the heel out there, lift up, and go into your forward lean. Now, this great thing about your other bent leg is it becomes a nice brace for your forearms. So as you take your body into that forward lean, allow your arm to brace on that leg because you're trying to get this stiff spine so that you start feeling your hamstring. Push, pull, lean forward. With the proper support, things just feel better. You can actually take yourself further, even though we're using our body as this prop, right? Pull back. You have to decide, is further, right? Do you stop there? Or do you stop bracing with your arms and let your body go further without you rounding your spine? So now that you're forward, make sure that you're long, right? Holding for 5, look at your foot, right? Push, try to slide the heel a little bit further away. 4, 3, shoulders are pushing down. 2, pull yourself up, leg number 2, glide it back. In the event you're really tight and you can't get your leg under your chair, I mean, I'm assuming that we're all on a workspace, right? That allows us to have a foot glide. But if your body is really stiff, then you would elevate your hips by posting a couple of pillows under your bun to help the stiff parts be able to flex, right? So if this is too much flexion going under your chair, get up, get yourself a couple of pillows, right? Sometimes the instruction doesn't always come out in its full detail on the first leg. Are you ready to add more? So you got this other leg, get ready to brace, lengthen the spine, the toes are up, let your arm brace on that leg. Is that not fabulous? And now that you are going, oh, this is nice, it feels good, I can feel the right spots, I don't feel like I'm straining anywhere. When we go out the next time, I want you to look at your foot in ankle position. So as you push the heel away and you pull your toes up and you get into forward angle, are your toes like curled and angling with the pinky toe driving? Can you pull your pinky toe towards your shin, right? Pull up. Think about that. You're going to do about 3 more. On the third one is the one we're going to hold it. Push out. Look at your foot. Look at the ankle. Brace on that leg. See if you can get your pinky toe to come around towards your shin. Pull up. Inhale back. Push forward. Drive it, drive it, drive it. Shoulders are out of the ears. Pull back. The next one is going to be the one that you hold. The one that you hold with the intention of really having long spine, shoulders out of the ears, a good brace on that bent leg, looking at your foot. See if you can get the angle to be sharper, right? Really get the toes pulling back. I'm saying that incorrectly. We don't actually just want the toes to pull back. We want to see that the ankle actually gets a tighter angle. And sometimes if you're not focused on your ankle, but you're really just looking at your toes can crank back quite far without your ankle ever making the adjustment. So the adjustment really needs to be the ankle flexing, right? And then the pinky toe coming around towards the side, shoulders out of the ear. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, release and relax. Come up. You're going to use your chair again for standing. So this is another aspect. Hamstring, we're going to call it part of our flow. All right. Okay, so you all know that I normally use a chair that doesn't have handles, sides. So today, foot in chair. You have to decide how far away from your chair can you be and still feel comfortable. Your down foot, square your parts up, brace, rock back. You don't need to let go of your chair, but we're going to go into an advanced position here that if you're controlled enough and everything feels good, you're going to draw back, right? Pull into it, let your hands find your support base, push back, think knee and forehead. Yeah. And once you connect there, then try to rock the leg to straighter position, rebend the leg, set the neck right. If you're balanced enough to pull yourself up, pull back, but you don't have to let go of your chair if that doesn't work for you, right? Push forward, hang on, think forehead to knee, and then start pushing the hips back, trying to not lose the forehead and knee connection. And that will keep you from overstretching. Adjust the head. Maybe you stay here, but if you've got more to give, pull yourself up and back. Squeeze the derriere, belly to spine. Drive into it. This is your last one on this leg. Hands find their support. Go forehead to knee. Start pushing back. Reset the bend position. Head comes up. Come off of it. Do what you need to do to switch legs. When you're placing your leg up in the chair, right? Like, is this the fight position? Like, can you barely get the leg up? How do you need to do this for you? Right? Do you have enough control and strength in your arms to brace yourself and hop the foot back and then look down at that foot and make sure that it really is square? Start with your bent position. Just this alone should feel like it's taking that hip flexor on the trailing leg and giving you something to think about. Ready? So start rocking back. Your toes may naturally want to lift up out of the seat. That's great. Rock into it. Maybe you stay here because we already have determined that here is still a good stretch for the hip flexor. But if you're balanced enough, here is extra stretch, and then pull back is less stretch, but more balance work. Ready? Push forward, hands to chair. See about bringing the chest to the thigh, forehead to the knee, and then rock back. The toes may or may not lift out of the chair. Rebend the leg. Pull the head away from the leg. Squeeze your bun. Pull yourself up. Rock back. Reset the bend. Anchor. Forehead to knee. Drive it back. Rebend. This is your last one. Pull yourself up. Pull back. Squeeze your bun. Disengage from your chair. Okay. You're going to need your band, whether it's your stretch out strap, a big elastic band. I'm going to use one of my power bands here. And we're going to do a little bit of that anterior delt stretch, right? So whatever you're using, a towel, a strap, right? Any kind of something that doesn't have a whole lot of elasticity to it. Let the arm hang from a low level, let the hand find the band. And now all I want you to start with are your shoulder circles. And hopefully, like, you can have this sensation of kind of grinding that if you have pain, that's one thing. But as the shoulder comes around through the circle, if you have this feeling like you're breaking stuff up in there, don't let that scare you. It's pain that should be the part that scares you. Sorry, I just got myself all messed up. So you're in circle mode because we're trying to get the shoulder to be in a rolled back down position before we pull up on it. So I want you to feel like you can articulate the shoulder down, back, and then pull up with it on the other arm. And once you pull up on it, you figure out how much pull up, because maybe your hand doesn't go up your back. Maybe your shoulder is really tight and all you can do is get the hand like this. But look how wide. If your elbow is sticking way wide like that, that means the front head of your shoulder isn't where it's supposed to be. So you're going to let it go and you're going to try to figure out how do you get the pulled back position with internal rotation, right? And when you internally rotate the thumb, imagine that someone's pulling on that arm and then you glide it behind you. So much more goes into this than just putting your hand behind you and pulling up on the strap. But once you're able to get the strap, right, then we can do something with the head. So you've got your strap where I can't give you any more information about positioning, right? Except to say this. If this is a no-go zone for you, right, then let go of the strap, let your arms hang by your sides, and just do the tick-tock head, because the tick-tock head with your arm lengthened is still going to stretch part of your neck muscles. So here we go. Shoulders are down, belly is pulled in, your buns are actively tight. Tick-tock. Now, as your head floats away from the bent arm behind you, push that shoulder down, pull your belly button in deeper, draw your chin down a little bit. Oof. And now you're going to turn your head in the direction of the anchor arm. You may or may not get a little adjustment. I mean, I always love the adjustments when they come for me, and I just got one. It was in my neck. Now, releasing the head, take the back arm, let go of your band, let the arm glide down. Give it a little shake. We have done shoulder circumduction, which is what we're going to do now. So just set your band down. Okay. So shoulder circumduction, and whether you use your chair or your body, I'm going to use my body. Okay. So the arm that just was behind me is the arm that's going to go into circle mode. Soft knees, right? Bracing. Try to let the arm hang and then start these little circles. The circle is not a forced circle. The circle, oddly enough, should just start happening if you let the arm hang. Right? Reverse circle. If you want to brace on your chair, your ottoman, your coffee table, whatever, if you want to get your hand off of your top of your knee and you just want to use that arm, then it's just going to draw your center of gravity down a little bit more. But we're going into the next phase of this, okay? And that has our body moving a little bit. So come up. I want you to think like your whole body's kind of this pendulum, right? So we're not standing up tall. You're actually in a forward hip hinge, and your arm, because we want the arm to have its nice length to it, and the weight of that arm is a dead weight. Push the hips back so that you don't feel like you're in humped over rounded spine. Okay, so you're in S curve. You got about 5 more swings. And any sensation, release and relax, any sensation that you felt in the shoulder when you pulled your arm out of that behind the back position, all of that sensation should be gone now, okay? So we're going to do a reverse pattern on the next arm. We're going to start with the circumduction and then the swings, and then we're going to fold it behind us with the band. So get into your split stance. If you want to brace on something, your hand is support, right? And your other arm's in circle. I'm going to draw down here. All right. If you had a dumbbell handy, you could hold on to your dumbbell, right? To add some extra traction and just start your circles. Bend the legs, nice flat spine. The circle, I'm not creating my circle. My arm, it's just happening. 5, 4, 3. Now reverse circle. Once we do the shoulder move, we're going to get on the mat, okay, and get into some of our chest expansion work and hip work. So release and relax. Pull yourself up. Keep yourself at your forward hinge. Rock into it. It's really hard to not draw the shoulder up to the jawline. Like you've got to try to keep releasing this arm. You've got 5 more. For me, it feels good to kind of wiggle my arm back and forth, right? 4, 3, 2. Now, grab your band. Okay, drape the band behind you. Start with a low grip. Okay. Pull, do your little shoulder circles. It's on the pulling back part that you want to make sure that your shoulder blade comes down, right? And then you slide the elbow in. And then your other arm helps you get up. There's a little squirrel. He just like talking. He's squawking. He's probably used to having it very quiet out here. All right. You're just holding, reminding yourself, if you can't get this into a comfortable position, it is not worth fighting. That is your body telling you this isn't a good range of motion for you. So you let go of the strap, you let your arms hang at your side, okay? But for a moment, tick-tock head. Even if your arms are hanging by your side, you're going to tick-tock head, shoulders out of the ears. All right. Take yourself ear towards the strap, shoulder pushing down, draw your chin down a little bit, and then turn your head. Look at the shoulder that's anchoring the strap. Pull the belly in. Keep trying to glide the shoulders down, and from the front of the right and left shoulder, I want you to slide the shoulder blades back and down. And the head is turned. That should be a massive stretch, right? And now easy does it. Release, relax. Ah, wow. So that whole, just to give you a little bit of the anatomy, your bicep has 2 heads that come up into the shoulder, right? And so some of it that you feel isn't actually in the bicep. It radiates up into the front head of the deltoid, but that's actually the insertion point of the long head of the bicep. So this tends to be an overused part of our body, and sometimes it's hard to articulate this internal rotation without pinching because the shoulder it's got compression in it. So we need to elongate it and then pull it back. And that's what we were trying to do. So we're ready for our back. You're coming down, mat. Keep your strap because you might need it. Okay. All right. Your little head support. Once you get down there, I want you to pull your knees to your chest Just make sure everything feels okay. We're going to do a couple of bridges. So once we get out of our knees tucked in, pull the shoulders down, feel your elbows get closer to the mat. They may or may not be able to touch the floor, right? And then let's just stir our pot, 5 little circles each direction. All you're really trying to focus on right now is what your neck is doing, okay? So drawing your chin towards your chest should make you feel like your body is nice and flat. Reverse circle, I know that was more than 5. So there is one more thing I want to draw your attention to, and it has to do with how much of your back can you get connected to the mat, right? So instead of just doing circles, right, if you stop for a moment and try to spread your parts out, we want as much back mass connecting to the mat as possible. And now 2 more circles. And that's not just for the circles, that's for every part of what we're getting ready to go into. Stop in the middle. Okay. Is your strap handy? Put it around one foot. This is not what you think. Okay. So you got your strap. The leg doesn't have to be fully extended. It can be soft kneed. Okay. Pull your elbows down to the mat. Remember, as much of your back body touching the mat as possible. The other leg is going to be the swinging leg. Okay. Here we go. If your hands are in the right spot on your strap, your shoulders will be able to be neck long, shoulders depressed, shoulder blades retracted, the backs of the arms touching the floor. Okay. And you get to decide how straight is your banded leg, right? Because if the leg is super straight and you feel strain behind the knee, then you need to soften the knee. Okay. It's okay to feel hamstring and calf stretch. You just don't want to feel behind the knee strain. The other leg, we are sneaking in some phenomenal abdominal work here. So, under the guise of doing a hamstring stretch, your working leg is getting hip flexor activation with phenomenal abdominal. So as the swinging leg comes down, if you stop it before it hits the floor, your abs are fully engaged and your back should not be arching off the mat and then back onto the mat. You want to keep your lumbar flat. And that is all part of the things that the checklist. Okay, so here we go. You got about 5 more. And 4. And as we do the countdown on the last one, we're going to get the swinging leg to get on the floor. Okay, so the next one down, get ready for it. Take the leg down, let the foot find the floor, and then try to slide the leg to calf on the floor. And then what just happened with your banded leg? Did tension glide up into your shoulders? Did your arms pull up off the floor and do something funky? You soften that banded knee until all of the rest of you can be properly back in place. And now, right, so here we go. Shoulders are broad from right to left. Belly is pulled in. Your lumbar is touching the mat. And hopefully the calf on your down leg is touching the mat. And then you're going to bend your banded leg and re-straighten the banded leg. Bend. So as I say, re-straighten the banded leg, that comes with some of your own discretion, right? So as you go to drive this heel up, the straighter the leg gets, if it causes your arms to pull off the floor and strain behind your knee, you are trying to straighten your leg too much beyond what you're capable of doing in the right position. So here we go. Last 3. Push. It doesn't have to go to full extension. You want everything else about your body to stay put, which means the neck is long, your back is pulled down to the mat, your calf on your down extended leg stays anchored, and release and relax. Take that band away for a moment. Let your hands relax. Bring the leg down. So before we start the other leg, we're going to go into our bent leg windshield wiper stretch. Bend the legs. Use your mat width. If you're not laying down on a mat, you just really want your feet wider than you think that they should be, okay? So legs are quite bent. Remember, right to left shoulder, open it up across the chest, and then reset your back. And now just float the knees side to side. There we go. It should feel good. It should feel rhythmic. It should feel like you're not straining anywhere, okay? We're not even going to hold, okay? We're just floating side to side. And then we're going to set up and do everything that we just did on leg number 1. We're going to do both legs, okay? So now as you come out of the side position, reset yourself, leg number 2. All right. Your banded leg is not a stiff leg, okay? You're going to start working the other leg up and down with the mindfulness of as this working leg goes down, if you then arch your back, then what's happening is you're using your parts in an uncontrolled way. You're allowing gravity to rock the pelvis, which actually is going to strain you. Okay, so here we go. Get your neck supported, tuck the chin, keep your eyes focused on your legs, expand from right to left shoulder, right? Pull the belly in, start sweeping that leg. The backs of the arms should be touching the floor. Don't worry about your down leg coming down and smacking the floor. You're going to try to stop it short. And even though we have all of this assist built in, there is an awareness that as your leg travels down, you should be pulling your navel into your body because that's going to help keep your lumbar where it's supposed to be. All right. Push pull. Look at your high leg. Is the foot doing something weird? Is the knee rolled out? Is the leg really bent and torqued? Because I find that when I watch people move, like they'll be focused on the one part, but then the rest of their body is all wrong. So let's do about 3 more and reset this high leg to its nice, clean track position. And on this next down, we're going to let this down leg come down. The heel finds the floor. Bend your high leg so that you can lengthen the down leg. Get the shoulders flat, belly to spine. Bend and straighten your banded leg. The great thing about the band is that you can let out so much band so that you can keep your elbows and the backs of the arms on the floor, and you can lessen the workload, right? This is about you not fighting the movement. You're just allowing your limb to move, controlled and guided, and so much more is having to be thought about because it's more than just what the leg is doing. Keep the down leg flat, right? Inhale and bend. Exhale on the up push. Inhale, bend. Give me 2 more. Last one. All right. Get out of that band. Release and relax. Do you have a block, a towel, a cushion, anything close to at hand that you can put between your knees? We're going to go feet to the floor. Pull the belly in. Squeeze against your cushion. Start bridging the hips. So I'm going to go ahead and slide my towel, my neck support out, because I know that when my hips bridge, I don't need extra neck bracing. All right, so the buns are off the floor. The ribs are pulled in and down towards the waistline. The hip tight derriere. It's funny that we would be doing bridges during flexibility work, right? But the thing is, I love to make sure that we are firing up our buns in every workout because they have a huge role that they play a huge role in offloading stress from your back. Okay, so now right to left shoulder, open it up, lower the lumbar. Don't let your buns hit the ground, only the lumbar. Feel how hard that is. If your butt just plopped down and you hit the tailbone to the floor, the tailbone is not the lumbar. You want to curl the hips until you feel like your waistline touching the floor, but not the buns. And now drive it back up. Right to left shoulder, open it up. Reset the ribs. Ribs are pulling towards the waistline. Slowly lower the spine. Don't let the buns touch and rest. Push back up. So if you're really honed in to keeping your pelvic tilt, you should feel your phenomenal abdominals working in this position, believe it or not. So if your body isn't arched, then that means your ribs are drawn towards your waistline like you're doing a crunch, okay? And now as you pull your low back down to the floor, the hip bones get closer to the waistline and the ribs get closer to the waistline. And there's your phenomenal abdominal activation right there. Touch down, release and relax. Take your little assist away. Maybe you put your pillow back under your head. Separate the feet. Go back into your little internal and external windshield wiper, right? Feet are as wide as your mat is. And now that the hips are loose as we can get them, all right, as we go from side to side, you're going to try to get a little bit more to the side. So where it initially stops, pause and see if you can roll it just a little bit further. All right, roll it. There must be mosquitoes out here if you're seeing me kind of scratch. I've been nailed. I didn't even think to spray myself down, but man, they are having a field day. Oh, good grief. Take it to one more, finishing on this side. And now bring yourself up, rolling out of it. Easy does it. Push, 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 push. Can we do a little bit of our QL? You're like, not really, I don't want to. So what do I mean by that? We're gonna activate by just walking, little massage of your derriere. It's it's kind of lumpy. It's kind of lumpy and feels kind of gnarly back there. Forward you go. Push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. Abs are hard at work. So I created a little exercise snack. I actually took a little snippet. It's a 5-minute snippet out of one of the videos and one of our class videos. And I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. But it is, it's when we sit down and do our, you know, it's not even raising the legs. It's just getting us into good posture that I'll send you guys because it's a little 5-minute thing that might just, feel good to you every now and again. Push pull on your back end is where we're going to stop this one. Okay, and then we're going to get into the stretch. So relax. You're into your side stacked position. We're going to go hand down. Put your hand in line with your hip. The knees are forward. You've got an opened, don't pull the feet too far or too close to your bum. Let there be like this nice angle here. Push into the heel of that down hand. And when you push into it, draw the shoulders depressed and slightly retracted. We're going to do 3 or 4 more of these. This isn't even the stretch. This is a setup, right? So here we go. We've got, this is your part of your elevation and depression, right? Is what's happening here. Elevation, depression, elevation, depression. And now on this push down, keep pushing down and slightly retract, and then do abdominal slight pelvic tilting so you're not in excessive S. And that's where we start. If the hand will go up, reach it up. Twist your body so you're looking down at the mat, bringing that high hand down. That's it, nice and gentle. Your job is to keep applying press into that down hand and zipping and shoulders down so that you stretch this long band of muscle across your upper or your lower waist area. And release. Offset the legs. Pull yourself the other way. That's it. You don't even have to reach the arm. So 2 stretches, very different from each other, but still addressing the same area, right? Come up, swivel the legs to the other side. Okay. Stacking knees. Put your hand in line with your hip. And mind you, if your hand is too close to your hip, first of all, your wrist is going to tell you because it's going to protest. But if the arm's too far away, you're not going to feel the stretch either. There is a sweet spot where you feel like you've got this good prop position, okay? The top knee is driving forward to stack the hips. All right, so just do these slides. So shoulder elevation, which is bad posture, shoulder depression, which starts aligning you, bad posture slacking, good posture engagement, glide, because the shoulders need to be able to move freely through this space, and it helps you identify, oh, depression, right? So now depression and then retraction and then pelvic tilting, right? Keep pushing the heel of the hand into the floor because your arm is fully extended. Raise the other arm, start your twist, pull the navel through the spine, right? Twist, 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 twist. Keep pushing the hand down. And now look at your elbow crease. Is your arm hyperextended where the elbow crease is pointing away from the body? Or can you align just by you swiveling your arm and not moving your shoulder? Can you put your elbow crease in its anatomically correct position, which would be pointing towards the front edge of your mat? We didn't even address that on the other side. So now let yourself relax. Okay, ready? You're going to take it from the top. You're in bad posture with your shoulder in elevation. So depress the heel of the hand into the floor to get your long neck, right? And then from right to left shoulder, expand. That is your scapula, okay? Your scapulas are actually going into retraction. And then as soon as that happens, your spine tends to go into excessive S. And here's where we need to protect ourselves. And we go pelvic tilt. Complicated, right? And now look at the elbow crease. When you extended your depressed position, right? Did the arm swivel? Swivel that elbow line so it's pointing towards the front edge of your mat. Take the other arm, twist your body, keep looking at the elbow crease because you don't want the arm to compensate, nor do you want your elbow crease turned to your body. You want the elbow crease to point towards the front of the mat. Belly to spine because you're in a slight pelvic tilt. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, release. Just let the legs offset. Right? It should feel good to get off that wrist. And now you're just going to tip your body. What if everything is like jammed up over here and it doesn't feel good over here, right? Then just straighten the leg out. You're still going to get that stretch over here. You're going to just be able to go further, right? That just where you just decide straight or bent leg. Man, I feel like the mosquitoes violated me. Sorry, leaning. I have this problem. I can't keep things to myself. I want to share with y'all. Some people do not get affected by mosquitoes. They just eat me alive like I'm some big sugar cookie. Release, relax. Okay, here's what we're going to finish with. I already know personally, I'm going to, I don't know when I wouldn't need my extra little prop, but especially today because the down slope of my surface has me really kind of in a reclined position. So towel under bum, I want you to think inner thighs. Okay. I'm scooting way back because I want my feet to be able to stay on my mat. All right. So not only that, if you have a mat, when you lift up and you try to slide yourself into a deeper stretch, you can get there with ease because your feet just kind of glide. And forward positioning. This is such a hard stretch to really improve on, sadly, because we are so tight along this adductor line. All right. So here's what I want you to focus on. Take the knees, focus on knee extension. And as soon as you try to push the back of the knee down to the mat, you should visually see something happen on the thigh, and that becomes quad activation. So as soon as the quads fire up, just that action alone facilitates a deeper stretch. If you didn't do anything more than that, that's where you're going. But if you can get your shoulders forward of your hip line, the real stretch is starting. So the quad activation is constant. You're in toes up, as flat of a back of a leg to the floor as you can get, because that's positioning. If the legs are bent and turned out, then your feet are too far apart. And we're just going to sit in a forward push for just a moment. Keep driving the backs of those knees down. Your body will start giving into the stretch a little bit, I hope. The more you push into the floor, right? Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, release and relax. Crisscross ankles just for a moment, even if your knees are up in your ears, right? Pull against your legs, sit up tall. If your knees aren't up and they're flattened out, you're going to be able to roll yourself forward. But if your knees are up, don't roll forward because it's just exacerbating or exaggerating your C-curve spine. That's why if your knees are up, I want you to pull up and sit straighter. If your knees are down, pull against them to draw your body through the stretch. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2. Release and relax. You are free to roam. Okay, you guys. Job well done. La-di-da. The little